my name is Greg Effinger. Today I'm painting with artist Emma Friedland. Today we are painting together, she with oils and I with watercolor. Our conversation unfolds between brushstrokes, exploring what it means to slow down, observe, and translate the stillness of life into art. How did your fine art practice begin? Before or alongside your design work?
Before. In terms of, so when I think of fine arts, I think of, drawing, painting. That was my passion, like when I was a kid and into high school. I was taking like AP art classes, and I was always in art shows and art, clubs and things like that. I was initially interested in studying fine art in college, but I also really enjoyed math and physics and that kind of thing. And so I initially started studying architecture. I thought that'd be a good combination of those skills and interests. And I ended up switching to landscape architecture, but I was totally right. It was a really good combination. It scratched a creative itch and was also complex in those other ways that made it interesting. In college, I didn't really have any time to paint because school was so busy, and I was, in all my creative energy was really going to landscape architecture studio projects. And then after college, I worked for a number of landscape architecture firms, but I had more time to paint again. And what I started doing actually was painting posters for concerts. And that was super fun. I was super into seeing live music and being at Red Rocks Amphitheater and that kind of thing. And then I took a painting workshop actually from a woman named Tanya Wersig, I was living in Sydney, Australia for a little bit. And she taught me this painting technique called scumbling, which is a dry brush technique. It's kind of almost more like drawing with colored pencil, but you are using acrylic paint, just in really light, dry layers. And that's what all the succulent paintings are, in that style. And then it was through workshops with Chula that I gained more confidence with oils and started painting outside. And that's been like a new, huge pleasure.
Are you still doing landscape architecture?
Yes. In the wintertime, that's kind of my main I do residential landscape design. And since I work at the Botanic Garden as well, and I'm kind of in charge of new projects that go in, sometimes I am the right fit for the designer for the project too. So that's so much fun, and it's really cool to be able to actually maintain the designs that I'm putting in instead of just being like, okay, homeowner, I hope you take care of all of this. It's nice to be able to work there too and be a part of keeping that stuff alive and watching it change.
How long have you been in Steamboat?
I just finished my 5th summer here.
Okay.
So almost 5 years. I moved here in the beginning of summer in 2021, and I started working at the Botanic Gardens the next day. So that has been a big part of my life here, for sure.
Did you come with that job in mind?
I was visiting Steamboat, kind of scoping it out a little bit. I'd been here before, but this is when I really knew I was gonna move here. And I stumbled into the Botanic Park on accident, and I was like, well, this is where I'm gonna work when I move here. And so I got in touch with Jennifer, who's the director there, and then my predecessor, Gail. And I was like, I'm moving to Steamboat and I'm obsessed with this place and I want to work there. And they gave me a job. So I did have it in mind. It all kind of came together right before I moved here, actually.
What drew you to oil painting as a medium?
I actually did work in oils a little bit in high school, and I loved how I feel like they're a little bit, since they don't dry so fast, it's kind of a more like sensory experience using them. They kind of like have a little bit of a life of their own. And I loved that in high school, but then one time I was on an airplane and I tried to bring my oil paints as a carry-on, and they are flammable and they got confiscated. Oh no. So I got discouraged and I just used acrylics for a while. And what it really was I wanted to do plein air painting, and I knew that oils were really gonna be a fun medium for that, because acrylics can dry so quickly. And I was kind of ready to try something new. It had been so long since I'd used them, and I was kind of set in my ways with the acrylics, but the way I was painting with the acrylics started to feeling a little bit tedious with all the layering and the dry brush and all that. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give oils a try.
What was the point there that you realized painting wasn't just a hobby or a class, but something you wanted to do as a living?
I've gone in and out of using fine art as a way to actually make a living. Now that I do seasonal work, it's really kind of my winter gig. That's something that I do like about seasonal work here in Steamboat, is that it doesn't have to be something I do all year long, but something I can kind of go in and out of. And I would say actually in high school, when I was like trying to figure out what to do for a career, I sort of got, had that narrative in my head of like the starving artist, and I was like, oh, I can't, I have to, that's another reason why I kind of went down a different avenue. But I keep finding my way back to it. And what was really inspiring for me about the Plein Air event was there were so many people in there who were well into their adult years, and they're doing it for a career. I don't know, it really kind of proved to me like, hey, you can do this, and this, you don't have to do something so quote unquote serious to kind of be taken seriously in this way. I don't know, I just have always felt like visual art people, that's a sphere that I just really feel myself in. I don't ever really feel that imposter syndrome when I'm enjoying the company of artists, and it just really feels like where I belong, I guess.
What emotions or ideas do you hope to evoke for your viewers?
Oh, often playfulness. I feel like that's a big, I don't know if I do it on purpose, but it just tends to happen. Something that I've heard, and when that piece that was in Plein Air that got recognized, she said, it just made me happy. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I'm looking at art myself, not anything that I've done, but others. And sometimes you can just really recognize a richness or like a juiciness in someone's work that just makes you feel like you want to like jump into that painting or like be in that world. Playing with color, I feel like, is a great way to do that. Just, you know, being like, it's cool when you see a subject of what someone's painting. Like, for example, we're painting this selection of fruit that like looks pretty cool and whatever though, but I hope the painting makes it look like somewhere that you want to be, you know? Absolutely. Take it to a different level than a photograph could. Right. That's exactly it. And I think photography can do wonderful things that painting cannot. So it's important for painters to go, okay, what can I do that a photo cannot? And I mean, you see in the Plein Air show just how differently everyone sees the world and wants to portray it. And it's like, oh, that's what we can do as painters. Do you have artists that you really, really appreciate their work? My like local hero is definitely Chula Beauregard. That feeling that I was talking about when looking at art, I feel that way when I look at her pieces, and her color and the depth and the mood. So some of them are so moody, and also, you know, just the art can do a lot of things too in terms of community, and I love how she teaches and how she brings art into other parts of life, you know, bring people together. I've taken a number of workshops from her, and everyone learns a lot, and everyone seems, I don't know, just feels seen, and it's not so exclusive. Yeah, she makes everybody feel really comfortable, and yeah. And that's cool, and I don't know how, I mean, I think a lot of artists have great people skills. I haven't taken a ton of workshops from others, but I just, you know, I've heard that that's not always how it goes. So you've got a landscape design brain, you've got a graphic design brain, and you've got a painterly brain. Is there a clear separation between your design brain and your fine art soul, or do they overlap? They overlap big time. When whether I'm designing a garden or creating a painting on a canvas, you're dealing with a boundary. Or, you know, sometimes when you're dealing with landscape, that boundary is fuzzy, but essentially you're dealing with with a set of parameters, and there are certain things that are important to you to make sure they get into your design. And then it's also important that everything flows and makes sense. I would say the gardens that I design are kind of balanced but asymmetrical, kind of a little bit of chaos, but the design is put in place so that it actually does have intention behind it and balance and all of that. And that certainly comes through when I'm composing a painting. Sense of balance. Mm-hmm. Sense of balance of color, balance of shapes. you know. I think that since I kind of like stepped in and out of the fine art world as I was like getting into my design career stuff, it informed the designs always. Like when I was laying out the shapes in here, that's kind of how I would go about laying out a garden bed. You know, you start with a concept design and then you get into the details, and that's how design works too.
So when you set up a still life, what draws your attention first? The light or the form or the story or the balance?
Maybe it is the balance of those things, because I tend to have, so it's kind of that asymmetrical balance thing. It's like obviously the tallest element of this is the jar of paintbrushes. It's very busy. There's a lot going on. Then there's a space. Then there's a big red fruit. So it's like there's two big things going on, but for different reasons, right? Like we got a big, juicy, super red circle, and then we have like a very busy, tall, complicated thing going on the side as well. That's another element of garden design. You see a little red over here and you look over there and you put some over there too, and kind of leads you through the landscape.
I love it.
Oil painting feels, especially because I haven't done many studio oil paintings, they've all mostly been plein air. Plein air painting feels like an event. Like you carve out the time, you go, you don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but it's like, it's almost like a performance, but you're doing it for yourself. Whereas the landscape design work, I can, you know, tune in and out of that, and something will inspire me and I go back to the drawing board. With a plein air painting, I'm just like, okay, here we go. I'm gonna get lost in this.
Yeah.
So very different type of, I guess, attitude. The plein air, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so the plein air oil painting is a huge departure from my usual style, but it's really good for me and it's really fun, and I love what comes out of it.
Do you feel like you plan every step, or do you let intuition guide you?
Like I was saying, I can be kind of a perfectionist and a planner, and with that scumbling style, it's a little bit formulaic. Like I do one layer and then assess, and it's not very free-form, but I feel very in control. With you know, with the plein air and oil painting, I think what I enjoy about it so much is that there is so much surprise involved. So it's like, if I plan every step, maybe I would create something nice and predictable, but I might not have as much fun. For example, I was doing a drawing of the Old Town Pub downtown, and the first drawing I did, I spent a lot of time, I don't know, kind of making it perfect or whatever, or I was a little bit tedious with it. I didn't fully like how it came out, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna do another one really quick, no rules. And it was so cool. It was lively, it was exciting. I think my perfectionist brain tends to like dull things down a little bit and make them a little more predictable and boring. And so, yeah, that was a big lesson for me. I was like, wow, I can just let loose. Like, my eyes know what they're doing. I can trust myself in this and just kind of let it go. The one that I ended up making, they actually have printed on sweatshirts there now.
Oh, yay.
And I gave it as a gift to the owners there, and I was selling prints of the drawing in a holiday market they hosted a couple years ago, and they were like, hey, do you mind if we make this into t-shirts and sweatshirts? And I was like, heck yeah, that sounds great.
So what's your favorite part about the Steamboat Springs art scene?
Well, I love that it's a small town and the art scene feels very accessible. I like that there's a lot of friendships in the Steamboat art scene. And like you can go walk around on First Friday and see great art and see your friends making great art. I also think that there is a lot of talent in the Steamboat art scene. I just think that there's a lot of fun happening here in Steamboat in terms of the art scene.
Do you feel like that same scene is helping to shape your style?
Yeah, I think so. There's also a lot of like activism involved in the art world here, like climate action. That kind of like pushes me out of the box a little bit too. For example, the Sustainability Council, or I think they're called the Western Resilience Organization. They rebranded. They have their Insight Art for Climate Action event that happens. It's going to be happening this spring, and I was thinking it would be really cool to do like a seed mosaic for my art piece for that, as opposed to my typical painting style.
How do you keep your creative energy alive?
I really have to follow inspirations, and to keep my creative juices going, I guess, is I do have to change it up, and I have to listen to myself if I'm getting bored about something and not make myself feel guilty about it.
About trying something new?
Yeah, trying something new and not having to be good at it right away. You're not really gonna get much better. I don't know, it's like I feel like when you learn a bunch of different disciplines and then you bring them all together, that's when your real one-of-a-kind style comes through. I do not believe I will ever settle on one style. Life is long, and I'm really excited about this oil painting, and I feel like I have a lot to learn and explore with that. And then eventually, I might need a break from that too. It's hard to know. But I feel like for me, I've just got to always keep learning. I think that's what keeps it interesting for me.
Tell me about some of the more recent projects that you've gotten to do.
Yeah, biggest art project I've ever done by a huge amount. Me and my friend Erin Branscombe, who's also in the Riverwalk Collective here with me, we applied for a large, very detailed mural project to be installed in Dinosaur National Monument in a bathroom, actually. There was a lot of details to be included, essentially like a list of like 50 natural features and landmarks to be included on this mural that was essentially like a map of the Yampa River. And the reason we applied as a team was not because we thought the execution would be a lot of work, but because the proposal was intimidating. So we created a concept together. We ended up getting selected to bring our concept to life. And thank goodness we applied as a team, because it was a lot of work. And we actually worked on it here at the depot mostly. We're using a material called polytab that's essentially like a wallpaper that you paint your mural onto, and so you can work on it wherever, and then you install it on site when it's all done. It was a very illustrative style, so we wanted to not be mixing tons of colors. We wanted a very consistent color palette, so that it wasn't just a big hodgepodge mess. And yeah, it turned out great. We installed it at the end of September, right after Plein Air.
Oh,
that was
okay.
a busy month.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
How can people see that?
So in the springtime, that Deer Lodge Park is the campground where it is installed.
Would you do a project like that again?
100%. It's the first mural I have ever done. So now I feel the size is what had intimidated me before when it came to murals. But now I'm like, all right, that was a pretty big one. I think I could do another one.
So tell me about your show in January at the Alley Gallery.
It's going to be somewhat related to Insight. That'll be available to the public the first Friday of January.
Okay. And then you're showing in the Riverwalk Gallery in the Depot?
Yep, and that's every month. Typically the artists, there's about 10 of us. We kind of just show whatever our style is, and we try to bring in new work every month. But sometimes there will be a theme. Like once every 3 months we'll have a theme. The theme this month was still life, which is kind of fun because that's what we're working on. So we're very on theme in here. And yeah, so in the Riverwalk Collective, we have some three-dimensional art, like Dave Winters with his woodworking, lots of painters, and some digital art, digital illustration as well. So a pretty good variety.
Okay. If you could paint anything or anywhere, what is your dream spot or location?
Oh, the desert. I would love to paint in Zion National Park. I just love the colors of the rock. I've always loved hiking and camping and exploring in the desert. And Zion's just chock full of big, epic rock formations, and they have an artist in residence program that I have been interested in doing, but I got in touch with them a little too late this year to do it next year. But I think that would be a really cool opportunity to be there and creating artwork and having the time, kind of like the Plein Air Festival, like having that full week really dedicated to seeing the world through painter's eyes and being able to really dive in with that. I'd love to do that in one of our great desert national parks.
Wow, that does sound nice.
Doesn't that sound fun?
What legacy do you hope your paintings will leave behind?
I would love to really, I know we talked about style and will I ever settle on a style. Maybe I'll have multiple styles, but I would love if people can really recognize my work as mine. Like, oh, that brushwork, that's Emma, that's unique to her. And maybe bringing something different that the art scene doesn't have yet. Creating work that combines all my life experiences into something that's new to the folks of this area.